I remember when I first met you both, and the series is called Where We All Belong. So how did it actually all come about?
Well, we're both members of the Community Drug Strategy Committee that is sponsored by the City of Courtenay. And at one of our monthly meetings, we came up with an idea to make a proposal to Shaw about doing a one-episode profile about all the work that the Drug Strategy Committee had done.
Yes.
And so we met with you and gave you that information. And then, as I recall, you came back and said, no, that's not going to work.
That's right.
But we have this idea that with all this information you provided, that this would make a really great series.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we were a little shocked and frightened. But we also got excited because there is a lot of information and there are a lot of services, substance use related services in the Comox Valley, and we would like the community to know about them.
We hear a lot of no in our work,
Yeah.
and doing this series, it was yes, 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 yes. So there's been like this army of people for free, on their own time and on their own dime a lot of times, helping to make this happen.
Exactly.
So
Like we can't,
it
you
is
know.
such a community effort.
That's right.
Yeah, complete community effort.
For sure.
Canada is the second highest per capita consumer of opioids after the US. In the past 10 years, our per capita use has doubled. Related deaths have also doubled and are now twice that of HIV.
The root of that is really just about respecting another individual and honoring what it means to be in relationship with that person.
Our staff are fabulous at creating meaningful relationships with people, really working from that person's strengths and really hopefully building on supporting them and having a better life in spite of having chronic pain.
So we have to recognize that there are different ways of educating, different ways of helping people with addictions, different ways of helping people through whatever life trauma or whatever circumstance they're going through.
That's where the real power comes, when women help other women, when they inspire other women, when they see women getting clean and sober and finding a place to live and changing their lives. It's pretty magical.
Our focus is generally on safety and whatever that means for the person.
So you got to think on the bright side that there's oftentimes the impacts that we make are impacts. That we're not just putting in time, punching a clock, we're dealing with people, and sometimes it works out.
There are losses that can happen through addiction, and the ghost is a kind of a dramatic element that symbolizes how addiction is often hidden in our society, in our communities. Right. And so the story of the two individuals is a way for us to invite our viewers into learning more about the addiction services in the Comox Valley.
This is the John Howard Society. Here's another place we could have got some help.
Hey look, why don't we follow him?
Hi there.
Hi. I just was wanting to look into maybe getting some counseling.
Okay, so you've been here before?
No, I've never been here before.
Okay, so we do have a couple of people here in the office that could meet with you and tell you a little bit about the program.
We have a contract with Island Health to provide services specifically to youth between ages of 12 to 19. It services directly to youth who have substance use issues and their families.
We had a birthday party and we got a phone call from someone who's now living on the mainland who wanted us to know and to share that he felt that ERP had saved his life. And he had sent, some of his friends along to come to ERP and check it out.
They hear parents that have been coming for weeks or months, and they start hearing the light or hearing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that gives them so much hope, and that's what keeps bringing them back is that hope, seeing that there is change, there can be change, and change has to start with you.
We're friendly, we are fairly easy to access, and we are really interested in working with people on what is most important to them.
And that's why I really like storytelling as a form of connection, as a form of, if you want to call it therapy, because it helps me too. I am helped by telling you the story.
We want to be proactive. We want to have a profile that encourages people to know about these issues and to do what we can to prevent them from getting worse.
ERP and the Cody group were the two things that really helped me early on. And a clinician. I had a really excellent clinician.
Well, in my case, harm reduction's helped me a great deal. Like I'm one of the lucky few that because of harm reduction, I haven't had any life-threatening diseases.
The best thing I can do for my child is to seriously take a look at myself.
This is a person that in their world, it was the end. Their only way out was to kill themselves. And now she's more concerned with my life than hers.
The potential for recovery is higher when it is a recovery based in the community and not just done in isolation.
Just the honesty from a lot of the people we deal with is just, it's phenomenal. It's amazing to see them do that. It's hard for them sometimes because they may have done something illegal, but when they do have that chance, it means a lot to us to be able to have that, and we remember for the next time.
In a small community, we often need creative solutions, and we really are good at that at AIDS Vancouver Island.
Well, addiction is everywhere. It's in our communities, it's in our families, it's in our amongst friends. And naloxone or Narcan is just a way of saving lives.
Because we believe that recovery is for everybody.
I think it's working because the people we work with tell us it's working.
Often when people are struggling with substance use, they experience a lot of stigma. Right. And there's a lot of shame about substance use and having problems with substances. And so the services that we have in our community, and many of the folks who have worked in these services for years and decades, have a deep, deep compassion for the individuals who come into our services. And as well, compassion for the other workers, because this can be challenging work. Yeah. And so we wanted to highlight that and also to profile that to the viewer so that they can understand that when they walk through the door, they will be met with a warm welcome and that it won't be continuing to stigmatize them.
I think a compassionate community is where people in the community come together and they help one another out. So when we have lots of issues in our community with substance abuse, alcohol abuse, gambling, a compassionate community is where people step forward and put their hand out and give a helping hand to folks that are in need.
Doesn't hate people that have problems with drug abuse, I would say, for sure. Has facilities and programs that can help people.
Community of understanding everyone within it and non-judgmental.
Taking the stigma out of mental health. You know, like I personally have walked into mental health looking for help and I found it.
Passionate community for me is a community that makes sure that no one is left behind, that everybody has an equal opportunity to succeed and to have a healthy lifestyle.
I think our services work because we develop all our programming with our clients.
And so to have that connection and have that positive rapport, it makes it easier for people to return and look for help.
So anything that was helping the community to treat each other better and again to make sure we instill in everybody to try and make sure where everybody does belong.
I'm the coordinator for the Comox Valley Girls Group, which is run through the Transition Society. And I also am a substance use counselor with youth at the John Howard Society. Really what we try to do is take themes that are connected to some of the risk factors for substance use, and we explore them often in a really artistic way.
In our traditions, we have many, many stories, and there are teachings woven into each of the stories that we share in our communities.
We shouldn't be talking about addiction, we should be talking about connection. Mm-hmm. And that's what the Recovery Center is probably trying to do and is probably best at.
Hey, can you see me?
Yeah, can you see me? Someone walked right through me back there.
We might be dead. Are we ghosts?
How could I have done something like this to myself? What was I thinking?
I know, I was thinking I could have done something different too.
I wish I could have talked to somebody.
I think there are places that we could have went.
Can you show me?
Sure.
And the ghost is a kind of a dramatic element that symbolizes how addiction is often hidden in our society, in our communities.
And so they've gone on this journey and they actually become the eyes of the viewer.